I just came on here to see the show. This is what happens to my arm. I don't know. Maybe I think something bit me, and I'm thinking maybe I should go to the doctor. Let's see. Over here is where it felt like it originally started. And then it seemed like it's traveled and went up. As you could see, this right here. This is it's really getting huge. I don't know why it would move like that. If I started, I don't even know what it was that bit me. I have no idea. I had went to Stop and Shop, and this was yesterday and morning, and I had when I got home, I noticed that I'm itching. You know, it was an itch that was. Let me see if I can get this camera to work correctly. If I can stand it up. It actually started about here that the itch was. And then I noticed that I was itching all the way up here. And this is the result that I'm seeing at 10:30 at night because I was in bed and then it was itching some more. I don't know if this is the same. It's got to be the same because it kept it seems like the itch kept moving. It seems to be moving. And I said, my goodness, if the storm is coming, Hurricane Isaias, if it's coming here, and it seems like it's already here actually because the wind is kicking up out there, and it's raining. It's like 10:30 at night on Monday night, and the weatherman said it's supposed to start on Tuesday. And I'm thinking if the storm is here, I am not going to be able to go to the emergency room to see what's going on. And I'm wondering, I've never seen anything like this, that just keeps itching. And there's nothing that I've eaten out of the ordinary. Like I said, when I first came back home, when I got home from the store yesterday, because I went to, pick up a few things at the Stop and Shop. And when I got home, I noticed that my arm was itching. And then after a while, a little, lump, sort of like this, like this one, started. It was a little tiny one. It was nothing, this big. And so, then it moved a little bit more. Like I'm saying, I think it's got to be associated with the same thing because it keeps moving. And then there's an itch right here now. As I'm speaking, itch is great. I know I shouldn't be scratching it, but I can't seem to help it because it itches. The itch is like, it's gotta be scratched. That's the way it is, So I'm trying to sort of rub it. And when I first noticed it, when I came home yesterday, I put some rubbing alcohol on it. And, just to try to soothe the itch because it's a itchy, very itchy. And I felt no pain. If something, of course, a lot of times, a mosquito or whatever may bite you and you don't feel anything. Not then. You just feel the, after effect. And that is itching. But I've never, known a mosquito bite to bubble up like this. And so I'm trying my best not to scratch it. And I'm just hoping that if the storm comes, which, like I said, I believe it's already here, the wind is whistling outside already, from Isaias. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. I love that name, by the way, Isaias. And I can, I was in bed. I had went to bed early because I was so tired because I had gotten up, early the day yesterday. And, because I like to go, when I get ready to go, I like to go early, shopping early in the morning, especially if it's, hot. I try to go while it's still kind of cool. And so I left out the house. I was back home by 10, and I took the long route because they were digging up the streets all over. I was like, what in the world are they doing? Down It reminds me of the other day when me and my friend down the way there had went we went riding downtown together, and they were digging up the streets all over the place, and we had to keep crossing the street to get to the other side until finally they was digging up the whole city, so it appeared. And so yesterday I actually was surprised. And I still don't know what they were digging up down there by the fire department. Because the fire department is like a couple of blocks from where I live. And they were down there digging. I couldn't even cross the street. I had to get on the other side of the street to get to the store. The one I go to, the grocery store that I go to, Stop and Shop. And so, and when I was getting ready to come back, after I got out of Stop and Shop, I said, okay, I'm going to take the long, scenic route. And so, because I had nothing else to do anyway. I didn't have that many groceries, just a bag, one bag, and then I had some stuff in my little basket. And I took the other route, and I was daffy when I got down a little ways down the street. They're digging up something down there. I said, what in the world is going on in this city? And so I had to go around, which I didn't mind at all. Like I said, I didn't have anything to do. But out of curiosity, I want to know what all the digging is about. I mean, it's just about everywhere you go. Like, there's somebody got a hole, they digging in there and down in the hole and looking and carrying on. I don't know. I don't know what they're looking for. I don't know if they're looking for to see if the virus is down there. I don't know. But that seems a lot unusual for all this digging to be going on. And they're building, we came, the other day when we came down by the back side of the street that we had went down before, and we get down to the end of my street now. I'm living on this street. And we get down there to the end of the street, and she asked this guy, says, what are y'all building? Because it was a big old pile of cement, with a big dip in it. And he said, it's a skateboard rink. I was flabbergasted. I said, well, now what next? And that didn't stop them from knowing what they were doing. I don't know. It looked like they were, it actually had taken shape. So they must have been doing it for a while. It's right down at the end of the street down there. Just before you get to, where, I don't know if you know where the park is. There's a park a couple of streets down called Scanterbury Park. And so they were down there at the end of that, down there. And at the very beginning of the park from the Webster Street side, that's where they're building this skateboard, the little flat skateboard that kids riding around on. Now they're gonna build this thing, that how they go up and they go down and all that blah blah. I said, what's going on? They gonna have some kind of contest down here? I said, well, maybe the kids would like it. I can't wait until it's finished so I can drive down there and look and see what the kids are going to do with that. But there's a lot going on here in the city. A lot of digging. They might strike oil or something down there. I don't know. They dig deep enough, and some of them holes look pretty deep to me. And so I'm getting ready to see if I can look out the window again. I want to know if it's raining or what's going on. But the wind is blowing. You can see the trees waving in the wind outside. And so I'm saying to myself, oh boy, I'm going to be up again all night long because I slept so long. I laid down. I got through talking to my daughter. I told her I was tired. because I was eating. I had ate a sandwich and what else did I eat? I ate something. I forgot what it was. But anyway, I told her I had to go, but she's a talker, she can talk all day and all night. That's how much she talk. I mean, and so I told her I had to go. I said, because I'm getting sleepy. But I didn't go to sleep right then. And suddenly it seemed like I was waking up. How you have like a burst of energy suddenly. And so I stayed on the computer and I was playing Mahjong, Mahjong Garden, which I own. I own that game. And, because the other Mahjong Gardens they got they're not the same as the one that I have. And matter of fact, I had bought it from Big Fish Games. It's called Mahjong. It's three of them. You got the one turning the wheel, and then you got the traditional one, and then the one I have that I play mostly is because of the music. I love the music on that particular one. It's kind of romantic type music, and I just love it. And so I played that for maybe a couple of, I think I finally went to lay down about maybe 5:30. Yeah, it must have been around 5:30, because I knew it was still light outside, but when I woke up a few minutes ago, it's good and dark. It's like 10:30 at night. But I certainly was not expecting the hurricane to come. Maybe this ain't the hurricane. I don't know. It's just windy outside. And I heard the rain, I could hear the rain against the window, against the window and everything. It's, especially like where I live, I can, I'm on like the first floor, and so I can hear the rain. And so I pulled the curtain back and peeked out the window, and lo and behold, the trees are wavering back and forth. But the street didn't appear to be wet. That's why I said I got to look out there again to see, what is actually going on. And then my daughter was telling me that my grandson had came back up here to bring his nephew back. My great-grandson lives here, and my grandson lives in North Carolina. I didn't even know he was up here, traveling in this pandemic. I mean, from state to state like that. He's from North Carolina. So I don't know if he actually went back to North Carolina or is he still here for a day or two. I don't know. I haven't heard anything from him. And so, which I'm hoping that he gets somewhere and gets stable, gets still, with all this pandemic and stuff going on. And I think North Carolina and South Carolina, I think they're one of the hot spots right now. And Florida, let's not leave Florida out. And so, I hear that I'm not the only one up. I could hear someone running around upstairs. But anyway, I'm getting ready to, see now I'm itching in another spot. This is what's making me crazy, because now, this is like almost where the original spot was, right here. I don't know if I had 2 bites, but this one seems to be the most swollen one right now. I'm gonna put some. I'm not gonna scratch it. I'm trying my best not to scratch it, even though I just got through scratching this other spot. But I'm gonna have to Google, and ask Google what the heck it is that's causing me to be itching like this. Traveling. This thing seems to be traveling. Is it poisonous? How would I know if it's poison? What happens when you get bitten by something poisonous? I never thought about that. If you get bitten by something poisonous, what happens? Well, I'm sure if it was really poisonous, I'm pretty sure 12 hours ago, that's how long it's been since I noticed this was going on, 12 hours ago, because it was in the morning after I came back from the store. And so, if it's poisonous, what actually happens? Do you pass out? Get a fever? I don't have a fever. Let me throw that out there and make myself extremely clear about that. Not as far as I know. I'm feeling okay. I don't have a fever or temperature. The only thing I have is an itch and this big blob on the side of my arm. And that's continuously, itching. But the strange thing is, the itch had gone away. And then when I lay down and get back up, I'm itching again. I hope there's nothing in my bed biting me. Hello. But I just changed my sheets. Well, not yesterday. I changed my sheets the day before, I think. Yeah. I don't know. But the feel of this thing, is like a lumpiness. It's like a lump. Like it's raised up and it's lumpy. As you can see, that it's raised, the skin is raised up like a big blob. And so, I just decided to make a video about it because I had never experienced anything like this before. I've been bitten, by insects from time to time. I've actually been bitten by a lot of, I think it was wasps. When I was down south, I was, a little kid. I think I was about maybe 5 years old, 4 or 5, something like that. And I was out in the grass, playing because my mother, I wasn't big enough to work yet, to hand the tobacco, how this is how what they used to call it down south. You hand the tobacco to the looper. My mother was a looper. And then they had like 2 people that would hand the tobacco to her. And she would loop it and put it on a stick, just before it has to go to the barn to be cured. And so I'm just out there playing around. I'm not really doing anything. I'm just walking in some grass, and all of a sudden, these wasps, I think it was wasps, suddenly came up from the ground. And they flew all up in my face, and I was brushing them off my clothes, and I was howling. And, and my face swelled up so big until my eyes were like, squint like this. My eyes, I could hardly barely open my eyes, and my face was like really puffed out there. I never forget that. But I didn't go to the doctor or anything. Obviously I must not have been allergic to it because I probably would have been going on to greener pastures because I had enough stings. I don't know how many stings I had on me. And the only thing I remember my mother doing is, the snuff, she put snuff on it. It's a tobacco. Snuff is, well, for those who don't know, snuff is actually ground up tobacco. You put it in your lip, and your lip be like, some people take it and put it over here. Which looks kind of crazy if you think about it, but it was the norm back then. Now, my mother dipped snuff up until she went to the convalescent home. I'll say she dipped snuff up until about 3 years before she passed. And she was like 86, so she dipped snuff until she was at least about 82, 83 years old. Even I tried to dip snuff, but let me tell you what happened to me. Snuff made me drunk, dizzy, or lightheaded, or something like that. And so, it just didn't agree with me. But my little cousin could dip that snuff. Now, she was like a pro dipper, or she could dip it. And she used it, from the time she was a little girl walking, my grandmother used to put just a little bit in her lip. And she liked it. And she dipped. I think she might still every now and then get her a little dip of snuff. I was a smoker. I was not a dipper. Because I couldn't do it. And me and my brother, my brother that's next to me, may his soul rest in peace. He and I used to try to dip the snuff, but we just couldn't. Some people just can't hack it, and it would make me dizzy and lightheaded. And my brother, he's dizzy, he's lightheaded. So we had to we kicked the habit before we even started. Yes, we did. But they, down south, that's what, you could give your kids snuff, stuff like that down south. And then they had this stuff they call rabbit tobacco. And we used to call ourselves smoking rabbit tobacco. It didn't have no effect on it, but I couldn't get anything out of rabbit tobacco. I don't even know if they have rabbit tobacco up here, but I know they had rabbit tobacco, down south. You would do it just like a cigarette. You would take it and you would roll it up and then you would smoke it. And, something like make a marijuana cigarette. I think we had to twist it on both ends, something like that. And we call ourselves smoking it. Your parents didn't care. They didn't care back there. We're down south. We're home girl. A lot going on in the south. But anyway, my mother put the snuff on, my wounds, my bites that I had, all over my face, mainly my face. That's the main thing that I remember that got stung. And I was, they was just flying up in my face, and I'm trying to brush them off, and I'm hollering, and my mother's running. Nobody knows what's going on at first. Then I'm just hollering, and I'm brushing, I'm doing this. And then what finally happened was, they realized that I was being stung by wasps. And they didn't, well, I don't even think they knew either that wasps has nests that, build on the ground. Because these bad boys is coming up out of the ground. I mean, off the ground. I guess they had a nest under, I think there was a way horse, what we called a way horse out there. I think they might have built a nest onto that. I believe it was a way horse. I wouldn't, stake my life on it or nothing. But a way horse down south, they call it, when you pick cotton, you have a weigh horse out there, and, they weigh the pounds of cotton that you picked each day. And I think you get paid like $5. You pick 100 pounds of cotton, all day long, you're out there in the hot sun, and you get $5. I could tell you some stories about that South now, because I remember quite a bit, even though, I was pretty old when I came up here. I was 14. But I remember, the days of old, back down south. And I remember, not wanting to come up north because I had my friends. I don't want to leave my friends. I was 14. And now I come north, I got to make new friends. And I've never been good, it seems to me, making, new friends. Never have. I would always let, if somebody wanted to be my friend, I would always sort of let them come to me like, I would never, try to talk or approach anyone, like that. And so, but I did finally, meet some friends, and I was enjoying this city of that I came to, and but I never forgot my friends down south. Never ever forgot them. But some of them up here, matter of fact, I don't hardly know anybody down south anymore. I think I may have some distant relatives down there, and that's just about it. Yeah. So, yep, I got bitten by these wasps, and I don't know if I'm immune. Let me see how my little bump is coming along now. See if it's going down. Nope, has not gone down any. You see how big it is? Look at that. I mean, it's just crazy. And this part, like I said, the original part is still itching. But I'm not scratching it. Not scratching it at all. You can tell by my age, by my arm, how old I am. Wow. Never actually looked at it like that before. Look at that. Oh, Jesus. Tell you, getting old ain't no joke, y'all. Believe me. And like they say, the things you used to be able to do, you're not able to do it anymore. You know, you know what? I'm not going to sit up here and talk all night because right now I just feel like I'm in a talkative mood and I'm overdoing it. I didn't realize I had been yakking this long. You know, it seems like a short time. Sometimes when you're on a video, it don't seem as long. But then you look at the time, you were like, I've been talking this long? Oh boy, I had no idea. I've been talking almost a half an hour. It's 20, let's see, I've been talking for 25 minutes, non-stop. Oh, brother, I didn't even go to see. I got to go look out the window. It is now 11 o'clock at night. I can't believe I've been sitting up here yakking for half an hour. And I can still hear people upstairs from me walking around. Well, anyway, I just got on here to show y'all. I wanted somebody else to see this, you know, because see that? I'm getting a close-up. This is the real nitty-gritty right here. And this is the it's itching right along about there now. So, on that note, y'all have a good evening and love one another. And I love everybody. Everybody that I know I love, and some of those that I don't know, I also love them. I just love people, period. I just, I think it's fascinating to watch people. I mean, the things they do. It's like watching an ant farm, in a way of speaking. They're busy. I was sitting downtown the other day and I see people going this way, they're going that way. I wonder what they're thinking. Why are they down here? Why did they decide to come downtown today? It's crazy, but these are the things that I just be wondering about people. And I just, look at the difference of how they communicate with one another. They talk, they laugh. It's great. Okay, y'all. Have a good evening, and maybe the next time I'll make a video worth watching. I'm still working on it, y'all. I'm trying to get it together. Doing the best I can do, actually. Like to say, you got to do bad before you can do good, correct? I mean, you ain't got to do bad, but you got to start somewhere. Like they used to say down home, you got to crawl before you can walk. Y'all have a good evening. I come with love and I go with love. So the next time you come back, bring some love with you. Because there ain't nothing but love here. Good night, y'all. Bye-bye.